In this last problem of 9.1.1, which is 9-6, you're going to use what you know about angles formed by parallel lines and cut by a transversal to figure out what the measure of these labeled angles are. You're going to do it in a step-by-step method, and you will name each angle conjecture that you use to justify your calculations. So the possibilities are corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, vertical or straight angles. You'll be doing this on your resource page, or you'll be recreating these diagrams on your own paper. But it's a good idea while you're doing that to be referring to what the different strategies that you can use. So for instance, corresponding angles we know are congruent. Alternate interior angles we also know are congruent. And the same side interior angles add up to 180 degrees. We also know that vertical angles are congruent. And then one other thing we might want to use are straight angles, which add up to 180 degrees. So use this as a reference while you're doing these problems. So let's go ahead and do the first one together. So if you want to try it by yourself, then put me on hold. All right, so first of all, we notice we have these two parallel lines. It is cut by a transversal. And here, the one angle that we're given the measure of is right here. So this measures 123 degrees. So the first thing that I've noticed is it is on the other side of the transversal. And if we look at C and we add these two angles together, I notice that we have a straight angle. And a straight angle is 180 degrees. So I can subtract this angle, 123 degrees, from 180 to get this, what this angle is. So if we subtract 180, or take 180 and subtract 123, we get 57 degrees. So we know now that because, and I would just say this, it's a straight angle. So C is equal to 57 degrees. All right, so the next one would be, now we have to figure out what B and A are. Well, let's see. In this case, I'm looking at 123 and I notice that it is on the interior of the parallel lines, and so is B, and that they are on opposite sides of the transversal. So these are alternate interior angles. And I know that alternate interior angles, which are right here on your sheet, that they are congruent. So I can just say, because of alternate interior angles, B is equal to 123 degrees. All right, so now I know what C is, I know what B is, so I'm going to go ahead and just write them in, 57 degrees and 123 degrees. Now the next thing I notice is that B and A are on opposite sides of this intersection here caused by these two lines. And I know that that actually makes them vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent. So these angles are congruent and these angles are congruent. So because A and B are vertical angles, I know that A is also equal to 123. So A and B are vertical angles. So A is equal to 123 degrees. Okay, so we're done with that one. So for this problem, you'll do the rest yourself and you'll just follow through this line of logic and use what you know about straight angles, alternate interior angles, and vertical angles to find out what the measure of DEF and also G are.